On today's video, we're gonna start a brand new coverage of a Lost Kingdom. Lost Kingdom 141 with 4 Imperium Kingdoms and 4 non-Imperium Kingdoms going at it. It's a 4v4 in the alliances, the way it worked out. We're gonna talk about that throughout the series. This video is primarily the first action of that top right area. Passes 4 opened up and all hell broke loose. Lots of action for us to cover. So if you guys enjoy Lost Kingdom coverages, this series of Lost Kingdom 141 is gonna be a good one. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, slap a like on the video, sit back, enjoy the action. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gecko Gaming. We're gonna take a quick peek at the map, call out every kingdom in their color just for a reference for you guys. Baby blue being kingdom 340, green being kingdom 337. In the center in orange, we're gonna see in a moment kingdom 349. On the bottom left, we're about to get there. It's just we're loading up the map and things are laggy as all hell in the beginning. In yellow, we have 1331, Kingdom 331. The folks on the left center are Kingdom 357. Top left is Kingdom 341. And in the top center, Kingdom 322. You'll see also on the corner, we'll get there in a second, into our big fighting area for the day. We have the folks in blue, Kingdom 321. So the way the alliances worked out in this Lost Kingdom is a bit confusing. We're not going to touch bases on that too much today. All you need to know is for now that the folks in pink are going up against the folks in blue and baby blue, and in the next video I'm gonna have a better graphic and kind of like you guys asked, draw on the map a little bit who is allied with who and what's going on, so you understand a little better what is what. But for now, you just need to know that we're gonna take a look at pink trying to go up against blue and baby blue. Here's the thing. The folks in pink are going up against a 2v1, and it seems like the folks in baby blue of Kingdom 340 really wanted to get into that action. They knew that pink were gonna come out and play, and they knew that they were a bit too far from them, and they needed to put forts a bit closer so they can teleport and get themselves situated a little bit out there. The problem is, the way these forts were laid down by Kingdom 340, they were a little bit too ambitious. They were a little bit too close to the beginning zone, the beginning area of that top center, where Kingdom 322 were able to very quickly flag their way much faster to these forts than they were able to really build them. On top of all that, the folks in pink were placing themselves and positioning themselves in a way that they were on that top area of that zone 5 that you can see, and they were opening and branching into multiple areas within there because they knew that these guys from Kingdom 321 were gonna come in hard and try to get into the fight as well. So we're gonna take a quick peek at this area of the map early on, because this was a very big mistake that I want all of you to avoid in your Lost Kingdom. Placing forts is very important, but when you place a fort a little bit too far forward, the price you pay is that fort being completely exposed to this. This is a set of flags where all these strong players from 22SC were able to port much closer, and now what they're doing is they're essentially starting to clean up that open field area from as many 340 marches as they can. When that's gonna happen, what is gonna be essentially the biggest problem here, as you can see the cloud of fights, we're gonna go take a look at it in a second. The big problem in that cloud of fights is that for 22SC to get back to their city and bring another march takes no time. But that 340S fort, once those marches on the field disappear, get beaten, it's gonna be really hard to bring more of them, as these guys have to go all the way back home, which is on the center right side of the map, and then march all that zone 5 back towards that fort. And as a result, that fort was very exposed. You can see another frontier building up in here that we're taking a look at the folks in blue from Kingdom 321 started flagging their way towards this this objective and essentially trying to meet the guys in pink out there. Folks in pink didn't wait a moment. The moment the flag finished building, they rallied this Alliance Fortress. And just like I mentioned, you're looking at massive action happening all over the open field. There are plenty of 340S marches right now. But 22SC still had a massive advantage in the fact that their march time back and forth from their city was much smaller. And so as much as 340S did whatever they could to keep filling, and I kind of took the simplified graphics off because I know you guys love seeing the mayhem. We left a little bit of mayhem for you guys to take a look at. But you know, this is so hard to understand what's going on. We had a little bit of fun looking at all the crazy marches and went back into simplified graphics, speeding things up because this was an 8-minute rally on this fortress. Because the fortress was placed so far forward, too far forward, it was very easy for pink to get here, and it was very easy for them to clear the open field as well as rally the heck out of this fortress. On top of that, to make things worse, the folks in pink realized that this 340S fortress sits, for example, just for the sake of an example, right here on the map, and there is another 340 fort right next to it. So the folks in pink from Kingdom 322 placed their own fortress in the center in between those two. You can see above on the top right of the screen the border, the blue border, and there's a pink border there as well, right next to the swords going like that, where the packs are. You can see that that is a fortress that was placed in between the two baby blue fortresses, just to kind of break their area, not to let them place flags in areas that are very well contested. And the best thing about this is the folks of pink decided, we're gonna get rid of this fortress, we're gonna get our fortress built, and that kind of helped them get their way out quicker. They essentially dropped the fortress in a place where it's very secure for them, but it's super threatening for the folks in baby blue, and then got rid of this fortress. As you can see, mayhem happened here. People are fighting in the open field. The commander leading the defense on that fortress kept changing consistently. And this is one of the things we're going to talk about in the next video. On this video, I really want to show you guys the early fights and the early damage and the early excitement of this Lost Kingdom 141 of this specific frontier. But the next video is going to be all about a few strategies, a few tips and advice, as well as a couple of things that the folks of both sides, in my opinion, did wrong, which you should avoid, mistakes that you should avoid. What we're looking at right now is a rally on the fortress being led by that Yi Seong-gye. I clicked on it so you can see his health and you can see where he's positioned. But there's also, if you take a quick peek, a 340, I believe that's a 340S or K, I don't know, I can't see from here, counter rally on that rally. So you can see a green sigil with a Genghis Khan that just died off. There was so much open field presence by 22SC that it was just ridiculous for anyone to contest. And as much as this Alliance Fortress tried to hold, it's just too difficult. One more thing you should know about this Lost Kingdom is that I currently only have one kingdom in our Lost Kingdom 141 group. So all the reports and all the things we got were people that I messaged as things were going by. I would really hope that more kingdoms would be part of cooperating in this journey. And hopefully when you guys watch this video and you see yourselves or your kingdom in here, you're going to want to be part of this as well. This is the first report. This is the first rally. This is the first encounter in this top right frontier. 1 million dead troops, 7 million troops participating in that fortress hold. Ignore that Scipio, that's a bug. You saw that they swapped the commanders consistently, and some of the commanders that were holding onto the building as the captains got beaten out of it. And so that was the last commander that was in the fortress before it broke. We don't have really to show you the other ones, but first rally, 1 million dead already from the side of baby blue, 340. man, oh man, that was not the greatest of starts for them. Fortunately, though, for them, it wasn't the biggest of deal. Why? Because they're in a 2v1. The 2v1 is, again, between the two blues. They are together. They're allied. Those are Kingdoms 321 and Kingdoms 340. And they're going up against pink. Now, funny enough, on the other side of the map, pink is in the top center. And on the other side of the map, they have an ally. Essentially, that other zone 5 on the left side of the map, on the right side of the map, is completely available for them to go to. So the fact that this is happening means that the folks of Kingdom 322 wanted to come out and play, essentially. They wanted to come out and fight and wanted to come out and inflict all this damage. As you can see, there's that fortress from 22SC that is next to their enemy placements. Pikachu already ported forward, and this fortress was the next victim, essentially. We kind of are gonna skip through the rally that went on there. The hold on that fortress was not fantastic. The guys in 340 realized they made a mistake, and we're gonna jump straight into this frontier. As I mentioned to you guys, the folks in blue started working their way towards meeting pink in a different area where the one of these buildings, one of these achievement buildings existed. I believe that was the Huron. I'm not entirely sure though. Don't quote me on that one. 22SC started super strong. They started very aggressive. They came out and wanted to play and realized that they have a huge advantage as of right now. Why? They got rid of all the presence of 340 very quickly. Those two forts that we saw one of them getting rallied and destroyed, and the other one was destroyed. You'll see in a moment. They realized that until Baby Blue in the center right side, left side, right side, crazy, on the center right side, until they crossed all that zone 5 to come and help blue of 321, there was a 1v1 to be had, and that is where pink were trying to capitalize. They were really trying to get rid of this FTK family. Now, we know FTKA from Osiris League, and I know a few folks within FTKA, FTKB, and FTKC. Some replied and sent us reports, others didn't. Oh well, but we definitely got to see the folks in pink splitting up, doing everything they can to get rid of as many fortresses as possible. Getting rid of fortresses early on is massive. A fortress being dropped in the center of a zone 5 will essentially allow a kingdom to start, or well, an alliance of a kingdom to start flagging from that center area rather than to have to flag from the pass all the way to that area. It saves tons of flags. It saves tons of time. Even though a fortress takes a while to build, it's the best way for you to get map positioning without having to connect to your level 4 pass and without having to spend too many flags. The thing is, as it takes as much as it takes, and it took a good 3 hours to build this thing, you really need to make sure you have enough presence to defend it. For FTKC's luck, this placement of the fortress was great. They put it just good enough so it gives them some space in that zone 5, but just close enough that they can make their way back and forth into their zone 4 and hold. And as you can see on the area right above me, some of these FTKC folks were not dragged into going into the open field battle, which is how they managed to, at least for now, keep holding onto this fortress. The rally going onto this fortress was a really tough one, and it had to contend with a lot of open field presence. What you're seeing here is a lot of FTKC open field presence fighting the rally, and this is a strategy that we've been seeing employed quite a lot recently. Just to give you a reminder, when you're rallying a structure just like this Alliance Fortress right here, both the rally as well as the structure are going to take not only severely woundeds, but also deaths. That is what differentiates between a open field combat and a building fight. We're gonna go take a quick peek at this other frontier that is going on here, because 22SC gave up on this flag for some reason. And back to what we were saying, just as with the flags in fortresses as well as passes, cities, so forth and so on, deaths occur when you have an open when it's a fight for a building. But when you have an open field fight, even if you're fighting a rally, then you are definitely going to be able to sustain only severely wounded and not deaths, so long as your hospital has space. This was a mistake by the folks in pink. They placed their fortress, in this case, a bit too far to the center, a bit too far forward, allowed FTKE to get there very quickly, and this SK mistake cost them, SKL mistake, cost them this fortress. It did go down. We didn't keep taking a look at this because nobody came to reinforce it. The rally was doing massive damage. It was going to go down. We were going to go look back at this FTKC fortress fight and go back to my point, which is we have seen a substantial amount of open field swarm on rallies. Why? Because you only take severely wounded and it helps tremendously to hold onto a building. On top of that, there is an FTKC blue sigil right at the bottom of all that cloud with a Genghis Khan counter rally on the Alexander rally, which I'm not entirely sure how good it was. Unfortunately, we did not get the report on this fight, so I don't really know to tell you if that Alexander was rocking range by any chance with a Yi Song Ye in the back, and that's why the choice was to go with a Genghis Khan. Although, again, counter rallies are usually cavalry rallies to make them go out quick and get there quicker. Remind you, FTKC don't have yet any presence too much in here. They don't have a flag connected to here just yet. And so they had to make a little bit of a march to get a counter rally in here. They probably opted to go with cavalry just to move faster. But in general, the way counter rallies work is rally on rally in the open field, everybody gets severely wounded. It's kind of like swarming. So ideally, what FTKC were trying to do were three things. One, hold on to their fortress. Two, lose the least amount of deaths by doing some open field battles with the rally, which failed. And three, counter rally the rally, which is considered an open field battle and therefore more severely wounded, less deaths. Now, we did get a report along the way of an FTKA flag that was hit by 22SC. We saw that previously. I kind of forgot which report belongs to what, but you can clearly see that Chen, the leader of FTKA at the time, was holding very steadily against the folks of 22SC who gave up on this rally. This rally canceled. And man, oh man, going back to this FTKC fort, the guys in Kingdom 322, in this case 22SK, were doing everything possible to not let this build up. You guys saw when the first rally happened, and I showed you guys the first rally, that the timer, this was on 93%. There were about 20 minutes remaining on this building, and FTKC knew that they have to pretty much hold on to this. If they manage to hold on to this, it's a huge victory. They're going to be able to port forward, start building flags, build themselves areas for them to port forward closer and get going in their fight. The number one priority, as you can see, one more rally getting broken up right here, and FTKC's fortress really holding on. The number one priority as FTKC's fort built is exactly that, is to create an area just like you're seeing right here where people are going to be able to start porting in. You can see one person porting in there, another person just ported in before we got here, another person will port in a bit, and they're going to start building a flag in the back. The whole idea of fortresses is kind of like you're seeing, have boxes of your color that are unconnected and allow you to teleport forward to strategic areas, as well as start building a little bit of a territory in that area in order to be able to teleport and to dominate that certain area of the battle. Now, this FTKC fortress ended up costing 22SK massively. They built a couple of flags and made it to this flag right here. And at this point, PP and Chi-Chi, I guess, were both holding onto this flag. Man, oh man, a Wu Zetian pops on the field all of a sudden. And that flag is going to be one of the center areas of our next video. This flag took a long time for it to hold, essentially. And it is at the... it's the bottleneck of where the fight happened. When the Lost Kingdom fight happens, it's important to spread around and have your forces attacking multiple frontiers and trying to confuse your enemy. But the bottom line is, at the end of everything, there is going to be one or even two flags which are the linchpin. They are the bottleneck. They are the thing that either makes things work or not. In that flag right next to that FTKC fortress was the linchpin. In that area, the moment that flag goes down, if it did, which you'll see in the next video, what ended up happening in that area, that's where essentially Kingdom 22, 322 put all their effort into. By the way, this flag by the FTK fam, fantastic. I love its placement. Look how it's surrounded by a mountain. So you have to walk around the mountain to get to it. I find that really, really cool, the placement that they put there. But anyway, as you can see, this FTKC area was really where the center of attention of things happened. Windforce, our friend from Kingdom 196, previously from Kingdom 196, someone who was with me in Legends Gaming a long time ago, was kind enough to provide us with as many reports as he was able to, as he was the rally leader of the range department of the folks of FTKC. This flag, as I mentioned, was where all the effort happened. Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, when you're getting aggressed on and you have to hold on, as well as to be able to push back, you first need to get most of your strength in one place and hold. And when you hold it long enough, it's kind of like a guerrilla war. It's a war of attrition. Whoever gets tired first will essentially lose the fight. And more than that, potentially even lose the Lost Kingdom itself. This was the flag where the folks of 322 understood we have to hold on. This is where everything is going to go. This is where we're going to converge both FTKC, FTKA, FTKB, Kingdom 340. We are going to do everything to hold on to this area. In the next video, where we're going to talk a little bit more strategy, a little bit more flagging, placement, mistakes done along the way, and things like that, I'll show you guys on the map as well with a little bit of a drawing like you guys requested from me in Kingdom 135 and all that. We'll show you guys a few things that'll make you understand a little bit why this flag was really important for Kingdom 322. But unfortunately for them, even holding on to this flag wouldn't really give them as much as they need to win this zone, because it was a flag in a very small section of that zone 5, and the folks of Baby Blue and Kingdom 340 and Blue of Kingdom 321, while fighting that very small area, were taking over the rest of that zone 5. And so, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this Lost Kingdom is a bit weird. It worked out in a way that every zone 5 is essentially belonging to a different part of the alliance. It's a 4v4 kingdoms wise. Unfortunately though, 3 Imperium kingdoms in one side against the 1 on the other, which is going to be very hard for that one. And on top of all of this, what ended up happening is the 4 level 5 zones divided 2 and 2 among the 4, the 2, it's a 2v2, 2 kingdoms on each one of those. It divided up and they kind of got away without fighting. There was a little bit of fighting in some areas, kind of like Orange of 349 tried to nudge their way a little bit towards the left area and got kicked out of there. You'll see that in tomorrow's video as we'll take a look at the rest of the map and all that. But bottom line, this is as much as we get in this zone. I'm excited to see what happens in zone 6. That flag burned. Now, the flag burning for the first time is one of the most important factors, because once you manage to burn the flag for the first time, it's kind of like we finally broke into the enemy's defense. I feel like 322 allowed that flag to burn that early on purpose. It took about 4 or 5 rallies for it to go down. And by the way, as you saw by that report, that Wu Zetian is 5553. It's not an expertise. Wu Zetian, it's still holding like crazy. I feel like the folks of 322 kind of let that first burn happen and then put it out and reinforced like crazy. That flag reinforced, it healed. You'll see we're going to be rallying it in a moment again. But in this frontier, something really weird happened. A rally was sent from very, very far away. Not that far, but pretty far away. It was led by a Julius Caesar, which I was like, what the heck? What are these guys trying to do? What are these guys trying to do? And on top of that, because of the march, and it was a very slow march, they got taken quite aggressively on the open field. And once this rally hit, you can see it getting chunked down to almost nothing really quickly, plus the open field swarm on it. I was like, man, oh man, who is this dude rallying with a Julius Caesar at the front? Went to take a peek at who he was. 70 million power player. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what these guys were thinking when they sent this rally. But as you can see, no open field presence. No way to help the rally from the swarm that's coming in. Probably not the best commander's choice when it came to this rally. Plus a very well defended flag. Yeah, this was not the brightest of moments from the folks of the FTK fam, but trust me, they made up for it later with a lot of very, very cool moves. I don't want to make this video too long. We're going to wrap it up in a little bit, but just to finalize a couple of thoughts here. Next video, we're going to really drill down on the strategies around this Lost Kingdom, on the placements of these kingdoms, on who is allied with whom, what is going on, a few mistakes, tips, and advice along the way fighting that you guys really don't want to miss. And I think that we're gonna have maybe one or two more videos of this frontier, and then we're gonna have to put this Lost Kingdom 141 to the side for a little bit until their zone 6s open up, because once their zone 6s open up, things are gonna go crazy. Another rally report by Windforce that happened while that rally was going on. You can see they're definitely getting favorable trades, almost a 2-for-1 trade. If you take in account some severely woundeds, that's really, really, really good. That Yi Song-ye put in a little bit of extra damage on open field marches. Again, you can see the status of that Wu Zetian to kind of understand what these guys are going up against. And once more, if you look at the amounts of troops that ended up in that flag compared to the rally, we're looking at a 3-for-1 ratio and a 2-for-1 trade in terms of kills. Not bad at all. That's how you slowly take chunks away from your enemy until there is nothing left. With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this first video of Lost Kingdom 141. If you are a kingdom from Lost Kingdom 141 and you want to cooperate, you want to be part of telling me the story, helping me understand your flagging plans, what you plan to do in your zone 6s, how you guys plan on doing things, send me as many reports as possible. Let me know when things are happening. I will definitely add you to our little group and have you guys send me any chords or any things that are happening. I will be there to record. As of right now, because I've done this more than once, I kind of know to read where action should be happening. You can see I'm taking my time to show you guys the map as a whole here. Remember that we'll look at that footage again tomorrow and talk about how that worked and all that strategy. But again, if you want me to cover you in more depth, you want to help me get more shots of you doing great things, this is the time. And as we kind of are going to pan through to look at what the folks in Baby Blue are doing and what's going on in here, I'm Gecko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you like Lost Kingdom coverages, make sure you're slapping a like on this video, as well as let me know down below what do you want me to improve and change. I cannot necessarily guarantee to you that I'll make the changes instantly, but some of your suggestions from last time were taken in account and are being taken in account for this coverage. And I'm always open for more suggestions, feedback from you guys, and questions as well. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Don't forget to hit that Discord button. Link in the description down below. Come join the Discord. We're almost at 2,400 members. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And I'll see you sooner rather than later. Take care. Peace.